On the 1st of May 2011, the Welsh midfielder named Aaron Ramsey scored the winning goal for Arsenal against Manchester United. Less than 6 hours later, a team of Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden on the other side of the world. That is a coincidence. Or at least, it should have been. But over the next 15 years, something kept happening. A Ramsey goal, and then, within hours or days, the death of someone the world knew. A pattern so consistent that people gave it a name. The Curse of Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey arrived at Arsenal in 2008, a teenager from Caerphilly known for late runs into the box. In February 2010, a tackle from Stoke's Ryan Shawcross broke his leg in 2 places. He came back a different player, deeper, more patient, scoring less often. And because he scored less often, every goal he did get started to feel like an event. 2 of his earliest goals had already lined up against deaths nobody noticed at the time. 3 days after a goal against Portsmouth in August 2009, the American Senator Ted Kennedy died. 2 days after a goal for Wales that October, the Spanish sports journalist Andres Montes died too. Nobody was counting yet. Then came 2011. Ramsey scored the winner against Manchester United. 6 hours later, Osama bin Laden was dead. 5 months after that, he scored in the North London Derby. Steve Jobs died 3 days later. 17 days after that, Ramsey scored a winner against Marseille in the Champions League. The next morning, Muammar Gaddafi was captured and killed on a road outside Sirte. By February of the following year, Ramsey scored against Sunderland. That same afternoon, Whitney Houston was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Beverly Hills. By this time, people had started keeping score. Reddit threads tracked every Ramsey goal in real time, cataloging each death that followed. Fans on Twitter ran informal death watches within hours of him finding the net. The posts were half joking and half not. A Taiwanese animation studio called Next Media Animation made it official. Their video, known as The Kick of Death, depicted Ramsey on the pitch with a scythe, his goals doubling as death sentences. It spread fast. A coincidence with its own cartoon turns into a character people want to keep writing. The years that followed gave the pattern more material to work with. In March 2013, 2 days after a Ramsey goal against Scotland, the exiled Russian oligarch Boris Berezovsky was found dead in his bathroom. That September, Ramsey scored against Marseille, and the boxer Ken Norton died the same day. In November, he scored against Cardiff City. Within 8 hours, Paul Walker's Porsche left the road in Santa Clarita. In August 2014, Ramsey scored in the Community Shield. The next afternoon, Robin Williams was found dead at his home in California. Then came the week that made believers out of skeptics. Stay with this one because the timing is the tightest in the whole case file. On the 9th of January 2016, Ramsey scored against Sunderland in the FA Cup. The next day, David Bowie died of liver cancer, a diagnosis he had kept private for 18 months. 4 days later, Ramsey scored against Liverpool at Anfield. Within 12 hours, Alan Rickman was dead too, another private cancer battle. The same silence beforehand. 2 of Britain's most recognizable voices gone within a week of each other, each death trailing a Ramsey goal by less than 2 days. The list kept extending itself after that. Nancy Reagan, Roger Moore, George H.W. Bush, each one within a day or two of a Ramsey goal, and in March 2019, 1 goal against Tottenham produced 2 deaths at once. Keith Flint of The Prodigy and the actor Luke Perry, both within 48 hours. Nobody had explained any of it yet. For a few years, the timestamps did all the talking. The debunkers had a counter-argument. During the 2013-14 season, Ramsey had the best form of his career and scored 16 goals for Arsenal alone. The skeptics pointed to it as evidence the whole thing was selective memory. All those goals and the deaths supposedly went quiet? If the pattern were real, it should have been producing names at record pace. But that counter-argument had 4 cracks in it. Berezovsky, Ken Norton, Paul Walker, Robin Williams. There were goals in that season with no deaths that followed. That much is true, but the 4 deaths are also from that same season. The debunkers were choosing their data as carefully as the believers were. So how do we think about the numbers honestly? The UK sees around 1,500 deaths every day. The United States sees around 7,000. Give any Ramsey goal a 3-day window after it scores, and you are drawing from a pool of roughly 26,000 deaths across 2 countries alone. In a pool that size, finding a name the world recognizes is close to a mathematical certainty. That is the mechanism. The reason humans keep noticing these connections even after understanding the mechanism has its own name: apophenia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in unrelated events. Add to that the clustering illusion, which is the conviction that events close in time must be connected. By 2016, the curse was no longer just a Reddit thread. A gambling company called Win Cash Live had turned it into a market. Their website, Ramsey's Rampage, offered live odds on which celebrity would die within 72 hours of Ramsey's next goal. The list included names like Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Piers Morgan. The backlash came fast, but the fact that a market existed at all said something about how far this had traveled. In July 2017, Ramsey scored against Bayern Munich. The next morning, Lincoln Park's Chester Bennington was dead. Ramsey's social media filled with abuse at a scale the curse had never produced before. People holding him personally responsible, calling for him to retire, directing the full weight of their grief at a man who had scored a goal 12 hours earlier. The deaths kept arriving. Burt Reynolds, Mac Miller, Olivia Newton-John, Steve Harwell of Smash Mouth. Then the myth did something that myths eventually do. It outgrew its own rules. In April 2025, Ramsey was appointed Cardiff city manager. Pope Francis died the following day. No goal. A managerial announcement was now enough. The connection was made within minutes on social media. His actual final goal came on the 31st of August 2025 in Mexico City, playing for Pumas. 4 days later, Giorgio Armani died at 91. On the 7th of April 2026, Aaron Ramsey announced his retirement at 35. 81 goals across a career and 29 deaths trailing behind them, depending on who is counting and how wide they draw the window. The math tells you why the pattern appeared. Psychology tells you why you couldn't stop seeing it. What neither of them tells you is why it kept being him. And that is the part that stays with you after the explanation runs out.